Welcome to another training, and in this video we are going to change the custom domain to a domain we have just bought. So what you're seeing right now is the dashboard of the blueprint we downloaded from yourzone.website, and then we created a free hosting account and we pushed it online onto this free hosting account. And obviously if you click here, if you log into your hosting account, you will see this the site you created, and we showed you how to do that in the previous video. And if you're on our course, you can just go back and view that. This is the website that you created, and you're viewing the panel for it from the hosting. And what we want to do is, as you see, it's using the temporary domain that our hosting Flywheel gave it. Now the problem with this is, I have no problem with this actually. I've seen a lot of people sell their services using temporary domains like this, where the main domain was not theirs. So for example, it might have been whatever, account name .clickfunnels.com, account name .thrivecart.com, etc. And they've done it perfectly. No, they don't care about it. It's not a problem. The problem arises when you decide to use your own domain, a domain you bought for your website. So you started out with this, and then later on you decide you want to change it. The problem arises because if you have you are going to have to reset all your payment gateways, because they're checking if the domain is the same. If the domain changes, you will get errors in payment. So you have to decide early on what the path you're going to choose, if you're going to continue with this or if you want to choose a custom domain. Now there's no problem if you continue doing this. You just have to hire somebody that's going to make the change for you and make sure you won't run into any errors. But I mean, that's not a problem, right? It's not like you're locked out forever, so that's not a big problem. I'm going to show you how you can do it if you want to do it early on. This is probably the hardest bit of all of this, and I'm showing you how to do it because a lot of people have been asking me how to do it. This is probably the easiest way how to do it, and but it's still a little bit, on the techie side. But I've tried everything, and I think this is probably the easiest way to do this. So let's go ahead and let's do this. First things first is you have to have a custom domain. You have to have bought a domain online. And what you're going to do is log into it. What we did is we bought custom domains online, and then we transferred them onto Cloudflare. Now Cloudflare it speeds up your site and protects your site for free. I highly recommend doing this. So first things first is to create an account at cloudflare.com. Once you create an account, make sure you log in, go to home. You won't see any websites here. Click on add site, and you should see something like this. We are going to try and pull our site called 5K clients as an example, but we're not going to be pointing this domain to the website we created, because this domain already has a website. This is just an example of pulling a domain that already exists. Now the domain has to already exist because Cloudflare does not create new domains. So write the domain that you bought, click on add site, and it's going to ask you to select the plan. I said it was free, and it is, so click on the free plan and click on continue. It's checking for the DNS records that already exist. If you bought the domain, it will find them, and we will just modify them so that it'll point to your website. So basically you should see something like this. What you're going to do is click on okay, so you can't, you can, well, if I click on this, okay, so you can edit this at the moment. What you're going to do is remove the proxying. We don't want to proxy it, because then Flywheel will not detect that domain is pointing to this server. And then we're going to make sure that on new site, we're going to click on advanced. Once we're on advanced, we're going to go back to the overview, site overview, scroll down. This is the IP address of your server. You're going to copy it, and you are going to save it here. okay, so that your main domain is pointing to this. Then you're going to make sure that there's a www also, a CNAME, and if there's not, what you do is you say add record, add CNAME, say www, and then drop in the target, so 5kclients.com. And that means that this, if someone puts this in, it'll direct to this domain, and this domain will direct to this server. So I'm not going to save this because I don't want to. Oh yeah, you can go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter, because at the moment you're just setting your Cloudflare, but Cloudflare can't take over the DNS settings that's on your domain. So you're going to say continue. Give it a second. Yeah, give it a second. And it's going to tell you pointing to Cloudflare name server is the critical step in the activation, must be completed for Cloudflare to optimize and protect your site. So you set it up, but it's not still working. So what you have to do, in my case, the domain was bought on SiteGround. What I have to do is, and if you're in the course at the moment, if you're viewing this video from the course, you will find links in the description that will help you update the name servers for the hosting you're using. I'll try to add as many as possible, but ultimately what you will do is log into the platform you bought your domain on and talk to their customer support and ask them to update the DNS to whatever is showing here. So you will have two name servers that you need to replace. This is the original one on your domain. You're gonna have to replace this with this one and this with this one. Okay. Once that's done, we're gonna click on Done. Check name servers, and it's going to ask you a few things to help improve your site. And this is probably the best part of it. Yes, we want automatic HTTP rewrites, so that's going to be on. If you're using Flywheel hosting, that's not as important, because if you click on advanced, so we're there, you scroll down and make sure that you force HTTPS. So if you have it activated here, you don't need to activate it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this off and say save. Always use HTTPS, no. Optimize performance. If you want, you can minify JavaScript and CSS, but our websites are already set up to do this, so you can leave this as is. Say save, and then you can add some broadly, which speeds up load time for your visitors' HTTPS traffic, and say save. Now if you're not using our websites, then I would say yes to all those options that Cloudflare was offering you. So say finish, and there it is. Now it's going to wait for you to update the name servers to point to Cloudflare. Once it's pointed to Cloudflare, this domain will be pointing to your new hosting, the website we showed you how to put up. Okay, I went ahead and created a custom domain called ors.yourzone.website, and it's already pointing to the server, to our Flywheel server. So this should already be working now. When let me see, when you update the name servers, I think you have to wait for 5 to 10 minutes, and then once that's done, click on check name servers, and Cloudflare will say, yup, we're managing the DNS. Once it says that, you can go back to your website and go to overview. Let's go here, click on overview, and we are going to update, do this thing, click on plus. So in your case, if you used 5K, like your domain would be something like 5kclients.com, right? This was the example we used. Obviously, I can't redirect this because it's actually already being used. But when you redirect a domain, if you just bought it, then choose if you want www.5kclients.com or not for the main page, because you only want your site rendering on one of these, not on both of them, okay? That's what's cool about Flywheel. It doesn't allow for the page to be rendered on both types, so that's good for SEO. But you have to decide if you want your site to be rendering with or without www. My take is don't use www. It's just so long for the user to use. Just use the domain. It's much easier. But if your site already exists and you're migrating here to this new site you created, you're probably not, but in case you are, you have to make sure you're going to be using the correct one. So let's say you want to use www, you would add it here, and it's going to ask you, do you also want the one without it? And you're going to say yes, because you want both of these to be rendered on this website. In our case, I pointed ors.yourzone.website here, and this is going to be actually pointed, I'm actually pointed this custom domain here, and we're going to be using it to update the URL of our website. So I'm going to say this is going to be our primary domain. We want the website to be rendered on this, but we also want to capture traffic that is www. Okay, in your case you would also want this set. I'm not going to set it because there is no www.ors here. So what I'm going to do is not set it, but you definitely want this set. If you're using a top level domain, you're going to click on add domain, and hopefully you're going to see this. So since you're adding a new domain, it's going to ask you if you want to edit the SSL. Of course you want SSL, which is basically a certificate that shows that your website is going to be delivered on a secure network. So what you do is you say yes, and you probably have a www here also, so make sure both of them are chosen and say complete SSL setup. This is as easy as it gets. It can't be any easier. Okay, so it as you see, it's able to understand that the domain is coming from Cloudflare, and this is your primary domain now. So when you click on this, your site will be rendering on the domain you specified. Let me just reload this page and make sure that everything is working. There you go. So it's being installed. We're running on the domain we wanted it, and we have a secure installation for it. So the next thing to do is try and log into the website and see if, okay, in case you want to delete it, but don't obviously do that, we are going to try to log into the website. So click on WP admin. And what happens is it takes a little bit of time. So the SSL certificate is not running yet because it takes a bit of time. What you're going to do is you're going to wait 5 to 10 minutes for this to work, because it does take time for it to work. So it says, yep, already secured. Let's just click on complete SSL setup again. I hope I didn't make... Okay, it's still, I mean, it's still working. We're still having trouble enabling SSL. You've got one attempt left until SSL access is temporarily blocked to avoid lockout, but double check your domain settings. Contact us for help. So as you can see, you can contact them for help. Click on this. This is good because usually things don't work out as we want. So wow, it's got two things here. Because my error was when it showed me that page. Okay, so what's happening? I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one because I only want one SSL certificate. And as always, if there's something wrong, you just click on this, contact us for help, or get help to fix this. Let's just do this right away so that if you have any problems, you will be, I'll show you see how to do it, but it's really easy. Open a ticket. The subject is can't access my website. and you're probably going to choose the only site you have. Category is secure site SSL, and just say, hey, I can't access my website, and then click on send message, and they'll probably get back to you in like 1 minute, 1 to 5 minutes. So what I want to do is I want to close this window because I don't know if there's some weird instructions on it. Go back to my dashboard and click on this. Click on your website. So it still doesn't like it. Let's try and access it again. WP admin. So if it says this, it's because we are in privacy mode, and if you have just uploaded your website and there's no billing yet, then privacy mode is activated and you can't disable it. And this is the password to access it. So you would say Flywheel, sign in. So it continues saying that there's an SSL error because it takes time. And I would probably just open a ticket with the hosting, and they'll 100% help you out. I'm going to pause this training, and we'll see if by waiting a few minutes if the domain is accessible. So see you in a few minutes. Okay, so we waited for a little bit, and if your screen changed all of a sudden, it's because I put the video on pause. I did a few things, and then now we're back. So what I did was I actually opened a ticket by clicking on Get Help, and as you can see, I wrote the ticket. It's really simple. Hi, my SSL certificate doesn't seem to be working because when I open the site, this is what I would be seeing. And they replied to me almost immediately, like 10 minutes after. So 47 and 57, that's 10 minutes. You have to wait for a little bit. And actually what happened was that they went and they checked out the site, and it says that the site is loading securely for them, and they told me it can take a bit to propagate, and I know that's true. And but just in case there was an error, I opened a ticket, and they even gave me a resource I could check out to clear my cache. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my site, and I'm going to click here and see what happens if it loads. So it asked me for my password again. I showed you where you can find that. And now it's working. So say I save it. So now, as you can see, the website is loading with the domain that we used and pointed to Flywheel. And basically that's it. If you want to log in with your new domain, you just go to your dashboard, click WP admin, and as you see, what's awesome about Flywheel is that it's really easy. The only problem is it does not offer domain. You can't buy domains through it, so you have to buy your domain elsewhere. But this is so easy to use that I don't know why you wouldn't want to use Flywheel. It's only, the lowest plan is only $15 a month, and I think it's totally worth it, because if you have had experience with hosting, if you've seen the back end of other hosting account like SiteGround or GoDaddy or whatever, it's not this easy. This is the easiest, most intuitive dashboard I have ever seen. And obviously we use a more advanced dashboard, but this dashboard is the best, and we have told our clients to start using this for their websites. So that's basically it. And if you're viewing this video at a course, using our course at yourzone.website, I'll see you in the next video.